here, always questioning who are the allies in the room. When I was much younger, I went backpacking through Europe. I left with $500 in my pocket and a one-way flight. And I thought I was brave. I was confident I could find work. I was confident I could find a job and a place to sleep all along the journey. And no one hesitated in assisting a hard-working white woman. I traveled from country to country, and the worst thing that happened to me was that I had my passport stolen. And although it took me several months to get a new passport, I found work and a place to live in a foreign country with no identification. I resumed my traveling, and at one point I traveled with a black man through Prague. It was a hot summer day, and we were walking for a long time, and we thought it would be a good idea to hitchhike. Car after car stopped and told me I should get in. But when I would signal my friend, they would either drive off or tell me not him. I couldn't understand why they wouldn't take him. It was for no other reason than the color of his skin, so we walked along together. This kind of racism is subtle. It could be dismissed easily as a man wanting to give a woman a ride because I'm far less threatening than another man.
A lot of people are afraid of saying anything. I'm not brave. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not brave. I am just a mother who is so concerned for her two black sons that I had to do something. I'm out here today because when Jean-Luc went to the first protest in Allentown, I said to him, honey, are you aware of what could happen to you if you do this? He said, yeah, Mom, I know. I'm prepared to die for the right to live. This is why we're here. This is why I'm here. And I said to him, honey, I'm going to be with you because I too am prepared to die by your side so that you can have the chance to live free in America. And if I tell my husband, let's go for a ride, I literally have to say, McLean, where are you taking me? Do you see what this looks like? Am I going to be safe here? That's my number one thought. All day, every day. Before they leave the house, honey, don't wear your hoodie up. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. He has a list of do's and don'ts each and every day before he leaves the house. When he leaves the house after dark, I am up no matter what time, and I'm looking out the window because sometimes our neighborhood is, it gets police. So we do have a police protection, except I don't feel like my sons, they're not part of that police protection. So I have to make sure that I'm up and I'm watching him from the time he opens the door to the time he gets into the car and he drives away, that they do not see him in our neighborhood and decide that you're black, it's after dark, what are you doing in this neighborhood? My sons walk in their neighborhood and they're asked, what are you doing here? They've had cops called on them. They've had the cops stop them and say, what are you doing here? They have to give a reason as to why they are in their own neighborhood. To get back to Saucon, the very first year, if not the first week, my son is in the cafeteria, and him and a white girl got into, I don't know what she said to him, but she knew the power of her whiteness. She went to the cafeteria lady and said, that black boy stole something. All she needed was an accusation. My son called me and said, Mom, I've just been accused of stealing something. They patted me down. They patted him down in front of all of his peers. They didn't ask any questions. When they did, he said, "No, ma'am. See, we're from the South. My children are taught to respect people." So even when they were dehumanizing him, he still had respect for others and said, "No, ma'am, I did not." Not only did they pat him down physically, they had him pull his pockets out and empty his pocket. When they realized that she lied, no apology, they offered him a cookie. A teacher said, "We don't serve the N word food here," to another student. This is what we have been living for 7 years. The trauma. I tell people, if I could open my heart and you see my heart, it's bruised. Every accusation, every slight, every "go home, you porch monkey," jigaboo. I wish I could hang an N today, another classmate said. That's what we're dealing with. What's worse, the silence. They went through this alone. Solidarity does make a difference. It does. We have to stand up. We have to be passionate. It can't be, "That's your problem. I haven't experienced this." Like I've been telling my white brothers and sisters in Christ, this isn't my problem. Racism, it's not a black problem. We're the victims. It's up to our white brothers and sisters to stand up and say, "We have a problem." And then we will march in arms. And I've told them, I said, once we dismantle racism brick by brick, we will be there, arm in arm, to help you rebuild brick by brick.
By spending literally millions educating our children, trying to get them to the best schools, and money we could have used to invest in business, change lives, do all kinds of things. We decided that maybe if we could protect ourselves and sort of be that ideal person, we would not get into trouble. Until my son was afraid to drive, because as quiet as he was, he listened to the news, he saw what happened to black men, and it was impossible for him to imagine that maybe that could happen to him. And as his friends drove, he would not drive.